Hi, it's Madison, and for my reflection video, I chose to go view Woodworth. And honestly, when I was told to view it through the eyes of a marketer, I didn't think that I was going to see anything different than I normally did, but I was gravely mistaken because as soon as I walked in, the first thing that I noticed was that when you walk in, there's a big sign that is promoting the sushi that they have. As you can see, that's on your way from the front doors towards the actual dining facility, so there's no way for you to miss it as you're walking in there, and maybe that gets some people thinking about the sushi, or maybe that gets some people thinking about eating things that they weren't originally planning to, and that's a great marketing strategy that you don't always think about, but that's a healthy option and that's great. But coming from the other direction, the first thing that you see when you're passing the cash registers is the big case of all the sweets. That big case is attached to the big cafe that's in there where you can get teas and coffees and things like that. So if you were going to be passing Woodworth and saying that you weren't going to eat, as you pass that big case and see all the enticing cakes and chocolates and pastries and things, it might make you rethink your decision to pass everything up, and you might end up turning in on the other side and going to eat in there, which is something that I didn't really think about, but I've definitely fallen victim to seeing the chocolate cakes and then deciding, maybe the banana's not the choice for me today, and then I go in and use the Dining Plus and everything to be able to get the cakes that I just saw in the case. But then when I actually walked into the dining facility, and once I made it past the big case of all the sweets and the sushi sign, I went straight to the salad bar where you can get salads and sandwiches and everything like that. And I didn't expect to see anything in there like that was anything different than what I normally see when I go in, but I actually noticed just how close the little section with all the candy and the Pop-Tarts and everything is to the salads, where you can make your own salads, and 5 feet over you can buy a Hershey bar and a blueberry Pop-Tart, and then separating the salads from the sandwich station is a case of more pastries. This was really interesting to me, and it reminded me of the reading that we had last week where it was talking about the different distances between things in the workplace and what distance made staff members go to snack bars versus not. Just the little bit of extra distance deterred people. And I'm wondering then if in Woodworth, the short distance that's between the candy and the salads, if people get a salad and then quickly turn and see the candy and get candy also, or if they don't get candy because they just got a salad, or if they think that they can get candy because they just got a salad. So I'd be definitely interested to see from a marketing perspective how that has influenced their sales of both the salads and the candy, actually. Another aspect of Woodworth that I didn't think was going to reflect the readings but did was the fact that the milk is in the back of the store. Just like the grocery store supermarket voodoo reading that we had, they make you walk through the entire dining facility just to go get your milk in the cooler in the back. And so I guess I never really thought about that either, just in the same way that I never thought about it in the grocery store. And the best place to hide things is in plain sight, and the dining hall is no exception to that. And that was very interesting for me because as I was walking all the way down to the milk, I saw that covering the entire wall on your way down there is floor to ceiling different kinds of chips. All those chips made me think, wow, if we were in a grocery store, all of these shelves must cost a lot of money to be able to have all of this free marketing there. You have all these chips everywhere, and they're right by the sandwich station. So I'm assuming that on your way to get milk, or on your way turning from just getting a sandwich, you see chips and you think, either those chips and cookies will go great with the milk I'm about to buy, or hey, I just got a sandwich. You get chips with the sandwich. Look at all these options I have. And so that's marketing that I never even thought of before, marketing and sales. And it's just, it really is genius, but it kind of makes you mad once you realize that you've fallen victim to this yet again. If you're familiar with the setup of Woodworth, then you know that as you kind of pass the cooler and go away from the milk, you see all the soups, the big soup station. And it was very interesting to me that soups, which are typically really salty foods, was right next to the huge Pepsi station. So I don't know if that was actually like a marketing idea that they put those next to each other, but if it wasn't, it was just really lucky placement, because I know that if I was about to get hot, salty soup, that I would think to get something to drink as well, and having those right next to each other probably increased sales more than they anticipated. So seeing that potentially increasing sales was very interesting to me. But then as I left that section, I was walking towards the hot food section then, and I was passing the big displays that start with all the tortilla chips and everything like that. And they put tortilla chips and salsa and queso all in the same display. This also made me really mad because I know that last year I was going to buy tortilla chips for stuff I already had in the room, and then I saw the salsa and queso on the bottom, and without even thinking of it, I was like, oh, this goes together, let me buy that too, even though I already have salsa in the room to eat it with, but I bought more. And I just think that people don't think about that when they're buying it. You just do it because it's there, but you don't think about why it's there, and the fact that they were placed on the same shelves so that you buy both of them. And it's tricky and it's sneaky and it works, but we all do it. And then moving past that, I had noticed that all the hot food was pushed kind of towards the sides of Woodworth. And then in the middle, and as you're approaching the cash registers, it's a bunch of snacks. So once you have your hot meal, you're walking to go pay for it, and you're passing coolers of drinks and big displays of chips and racks of cookies and snacks and candy and stuff. And maybe you don't think about it, but as you're passing it, you say, hey, maybe this will fill up the rest of my swipe, and maybe this will, go well with the sandwich I just got. And they do that because the marketers know that when you pass it, you'll buy it. And while we're talking about filling up swipes, let's talk about the prices for a second, because while I was over by the coolers, I was looking at the prices of the various drinks. If you notice, those are all very weird numbers that most likely could not add up to $8.80 unless you took some serious calculating in there. And I just get very frustrated by the fact that Ball State is gaining a lot of money off of us who don't finish using all of our swipes, and that you can't make it to $8.80, but you prepaid for all these meals that do add up to $8.80. And that is a fabulous marketing strategy, especially going from $8.60 last year to $8.80 this year. But we can't we're first of all not used to trying to get to $8.80, and that extra 20 cents does make a difference. And then second of all, the prices that they set things at are not very, helpful in trying to get you to that $8.80, which is frustrating. But from a marketing perspective, I'm like, wow, that was genius, really great thinking. But from a broke college student perspective, I'm like, hey, what the heck? I need all this money, and this huge university doesn't need my extra 20 cents. And then, although this is something that I have noticed before, finally I am going to touch on, as you're approaching the cash register, they have big candy displays, and then right at the cash register, they have really low-priced items like drink packets and mints and little packs of gum and sweet treats and those awake bars and things like that. that are lower priced, but as you're approaching the cash register waiting for your turn to pay, you'll take those little goodies and you'll grab them and you'll add them to your purchase to either spend more to try to meet your swipe, or it was just while you were waiting in line you decided to grab it, because that happens all the time. Or you're standing there and you're waiting and you think to yourself, oh, I just took a glance at the gum, I actually am running low on gum, let me grab one. And they do that in grocery stores, they do that in gas stations, and they do it in Woodworth as well, apparently. So after my time spent in Woodworth with the eyes of a marketer, I really just had my eyes open to all the different tactics that both grocery stores and Woodworth Dining Hall uses just to try to really get us to either spend more or walk further or pass more of their items or any little thing like that, even just trying to make us be able to not hit our swipe max. And so from now on, I'm definitely going to be more conscious of what I'm spending and where I'm walking and what I'm seeing and just what I'm deciding to spend my money on, whether I'm in a real grocery store or if I'm just on campus. But this activity was actually really helpful, and I'm glad that we did it, even though I didn't think I was going to learn as much as I did. So thanks a bunch, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.